What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Patrick Tarnowski. Wait, hold up. Let me do that again, because I didn't even do that saying the name of the show. I'm keeping this. I'm going to keep this because I'm proud of me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? Podcast about life in the music industry. I'm your host, Patrick Tarnowski. With me is Matt Reed. Today, we've got Kevin from Chicago band Guardrail on the show. Kevin.
What's up?
What's up? Welcome to the show.
The name of the show is pretty fitting because I'm the only one in the band who made it. So where did all my friends go?
It's very fitting. Like, yeah, you know, you're going to have Ken, and then he's like, you know what? Fuck you. And you were like, whoa.
He said that to me.
Whoa.
He sent me a voice memo and a Snapchat.
Sent you a Snapchat of his butt
him
cheek.
Just saying, fuck you.
You're like, what? So rude. Yeah, that's awesome. I love when people do that. When I had Snapchat back in the day, it's all people would always just send me stuff that just said fuck you, and I was like, look, I can't take this anymore. You guys are really aggressive.
I do have Snapchat, but I'm also 33, so like I basically use it to just send out blasts about my band's shows and stuff, or like I'm in a work group chat with some of my coworkers where we just like talk shit. And that's pretty much it. And then I'll like answer Snapchats that I receive from people. That's honestly about it.
Yeah. I used to have it, and I had like 5 people I would talk to at maybe once a week on there, and I was just like, man, I don't ever use this. I'm just gonna delete this. Like, I never ever use it. And
yeah, you know how you have like your top friends, like the people you talk to the most. If I send more than like one Snapchat in a row to someone, that person's automatically my number one because I never use it. I'm like, damn,
never
I'm
had
best
any
friends
streaks?
Yeah, I mean, I did. My fiance and I, when we started dating, we had a streak going for like I don't know, a long time, like months and months and months, and then I fucked it up. So
yeah, mm-hmm.
She still decided to say yes after all these.
You're lucky. Yeah. You broke a Snapchat streak, and
I know
she still was willing to marry you.
She should have ended it right there. She would have been better off, but
I feel that. Many a breakups due to Snapchat streaks being broken.
Matt, you laugh, but I'm sure it's true.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. Matt, do you have Snapchat?
I do, but just because my family insists on that's what they want to use to talk to each other on.
Wild.
I don't know why. Yeah.
For the longest time, me and Matt were being like old boomers, and we're like just messaging solely on like Facebook Messenger. And then I was like, hey man, I'm gonna like text you, and you're like, and he was like, oh yeah, I mean that's cool. I usually prefer text. And I was like, oh, why the fuck have we been only chatting on Facebook Messenger then?
I mean, I prefer like texting and stuff too, because it's just easier for me to get a hold of people. A lot of times I don't get notifications and stuff. I have most of my notifications turned off anyway because I don't want my phone exploding all the time. So
right.
Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, there's some people that like, I'm like, you have my phone number. Why are you Facebook messaging me?
I have like close friends that will Facebook message me instead of texting, and I just don't get it. I'm like, this is for like, I have this for like my out of the country friends. Like,
right. Well, yeah, this is such like a problem of today. Like, this was not a problem that we had 10 years ago.
No, we just were, on AIM. I missed
right.
that. I think that was longer than 10 years at this point, right?
Yeah, shit, that would have been
20 years ago.
Yeah, about 20, probably closer to 20.
Really?
I mean, yeah. Wow. I mean, I had it when
15.
I was in like
15.
I had AIM in like junior high.
Yeah, 15, I think. About 15 years ago.
So, yeah, I mean, 15 to 20.
15 to 20.
It's been a wild ride. Just accept it.
Good gracious. That's wild. Gosh. Speaking of wild, Y'all just released your latest single, Jokes on Me, off your
Yes.
forthcoming album, Content, which will be
Mhm.
out July 7th via Open Your Ears Records. How has the response been so far?
So far, so good. This song is kind of a different song for us as a band. We've been a band for a long time, but we've been this lineup of these five individuals since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And since then we put out a couple of singles, we put out an EP together. So this song actually was one that our bassist Alyssa wrote all the lyrics for.
Okay.
And she also took over a lot of the vocals on it too, because I was like,
Yeah.
let's switch this up a little bit. And then I also play bass on this one, so she
Okay.
can play trumpet on it. Like there's just a lot of interesting things going on that we've never done before on it.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives us a little bit of a like, hey, this clearly still sounds like our band, but like here's what we can also do. Here's some other cool stuff that you can expect that's a little different from our previous stuff.
I really
Yeah.
dug the trumpet solo on that there, like at the end part. I think it was sweet.
Yeah, Alyssa's she's got a lot of instruments in her back pocket that we decided to explore a little bit. Like her main instrument is actually cello,
Oh,
and she she pretty much learned to play bass to be in our band, which we didn't even know. She lied to us and said that she knew how to play bass, and she dabbled in it, and she was already very like musically inclined anyway. So
Yeah.
I guess she just basically picked up bass and was like, "All right, I want to play in this band. Let's see what I can figure out on this bass." And she learned the songs. She fooled us, and here we are many years later. And
was good enough to fool you, huh?
yeah, exactly. So
That's crazy.
I guess the joke's on me.
I'm Sweet D, and the joke's on me.
Oh my god, I was gonna like post that clip and be like, "Oh my god, they told the future just like the Simpsons do. They knew about us before we even knew about us."
They did. They did. That's a good one too. Mm.
Have you played Jokes on Me live yet?
Yeah, we just played it a couple of times. We had a couple shows. The weekend we put that song out, actually. Um, we did two shows. We played in basically the day that the song dropped on June 9th, so 6/9/69. What better data for us to
Yeah.
put out a new song and announce the album and all that. So we played a show out in the Quad Cities that night, and then we played a show in Indiana the next day, opening for our friends the Region, who hadn't played a show since like before the pandemic, and they just put out a new EP and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
we got to actually play it at those two shows. So it went pretty well.
Nice.
Awesome.
What can people expect from the new record, and do you have any personal favorites off it?
Man, what I like about the record is with our last EP. So basically, when this iteration of the band formed in 2018, we went and recorded a couple of singles that were just songs that we were kind of working on already, and we sort of just completed. Where it was kind of like our introduction, like, hey, here's this iteration of this band. Like before, it was kind of a side project, kind of a not so serious thing. Kind of went through a revolving door of members. Ken and I have only been the two like consistent ones.
Okay.
So we put out a couple singles. We're like, okay, cool. Here's what we can do, and then we put out the EP. That was like actually something we worked on a lot together, and it kind of dialed in on like what our band sounds like. And then with this record, we were able to kind of, after we dialed it in, now we can kind of expand off of that once we kind of figured it out. So we do a lot of things that are a little different. Like I mentioned before, like Jokes on Me is a kind of a different one. We have another song that we've actually been playing live for a while now, that Alyssa wrote, and she actually sings on. I don't sing on it at all. It's like the first time there's been a Guardrail song I don't sing on.
Right on.
And we have an acoustic song on there. We've never done that before, just a straight up acoustic song. We have some classic, just fast skate punk stuff. We get a little heavy at some points. Got a little bit of like a post hardcore emo, sort of like Story of the Year esque sound to a couple of the songs.
Nice.
There's one song that almost sounds like if it sounds like Guardrail wrote a Sugar Ray song or something. Like there's a little like beat going, like a very Sugar Ray like Someday-esque
Okay.
beat going in it, and there's a little like Motion City soundtracks synth going through it and stuff. And then once it gets to the bridge, it all kicks in full on Guardrail with the guitars and drums and everything. And that song's called Here Again. That's probably my favorite one. Just because it's also at the end too has like a 7-part vocal harmony going. There's just
Oh
like
shit.
voices going all over the place. There's like I think 2 of me, 2 of Alyssa, and 3 of our producer Nick, who he was formerly of the Swellers.
Okay.
He did some backup stuff on that one too. So it's just like all kinds of voices going on, and it's just awesome. So there's a lot. There's some happy points, some angry points, some sad points. So we just want you to feel,
Just take you for an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. And we're all in our early 30s, so we're not writing songs about like, oh my God, I don't understand girls, or like things like that, like I try to write about shit that I'm like, my friend group and my kind of, my peers are kind of can relate to this because of this. And
Sure.
there's a lot of songs about like, how shit's all fucked in the world, or
Right.
or even just stuff about your mental health, or stuff where you're just like, the song Here Again is about just like you're just stuck in like this rut where a lot of my friends are just like they finished college, got a job, and they're just existing, and they're just like, I need to do something to get out of this. So yeah, I mean, we're trying to just write a lot of relatable stuff for our generation.
Sure.
And
Hell
we
yeah.
have had a lot of younger people say that they relate to our stuff too. So it's cool that I can be like, okay, here's the doom and gloom you guys have to look forward to in 10 years, when you turn 30. So
I mean, they like the younger generations already had to deal with some pretty fucked up stuff. So
I
like
know the whole the school shootings and everything like that. I mean, I that wasn't something we really had to worry about back then, and it's kind of crazy.
yeah, school shootings, going to school during a pandemic,
Yeah,
not going to school.
yeah. The climate change is all fucked. The economy's in the shitter. No one can afford a house anymore. It's like, man,
Everybody hates everybody.
yeah,
It's
every
awesome.
yeah. It's ridiculous. There, I mean, another song that we have on the record too. It's a really short, fast, angry, like Suicide Machines meets Rise Against kind of vibe to it, and
Killer.
it's all about just like how our right wing extended family members would rather blindly follow a politician and conspiracy theories and stuff rather than have an open dialogue with their nieces and nephews, and actually hear us out, and not treat us like we don't know any better when we do know what we're talking about to an extent. And you might feel like you do too, but it's never a dialogue. It's always like a fuck you, you're wrong, you damn libtards. Like I had an uncle on Facebook refer to me as you liberal, and I'm like, I'm not a liberal, I'm your fucking nephew, bro. Like
What the
talk to
fuck
me
is
like I'm
wrong
your
with you?
nephew, man. Like I'm not some like random dude who's just like some left-wing nut. Like no, I'm your nephew. You knew me when I was a toddler, man. Like
Come on.
You
get
loved me
fucked.
once.
Yeah.
No,
Dick.
feel ya. So fucking crazy time.
Right.
So you kind of talked a little bit about this already, but so you're nearing about 10 years as a band.
Mhm.
How would you say the band has changed since you first started out?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed a lot. Like I said, it's been kind of a revolving door of members. Um, it's been kind of nice since the start. Ken and I actually met back in like 5th grade. So we've been friends for a long, long time.
Good
Um,
grade, good years.
yeah, we met in Catholic school together. We were just like, oh my
Oh,
God, you like Weird Al? I like Weird Al. And like we just sort of like became friends that way. And we both kind of got guitars around the same time when we were like in 8th grade and started learning how to play music. And then we started a band together when we were in high school. We've played in several bands together. Um, but I mean, when I was starting this band, I'd never really been in a punk band. I've always just I'm primarily a bass player. So I kind of went where I was needed. And it was always like hard rock or like metal or like alternative kind of stuff. It was never like a punk band. And I was just like, man, I need to start a punk band. And so like beginning of 2014, I just posted a Facebook status of like, who wants to start a punk band with me? And kind of was like, hey, the band we're in now is clearly falling apart. I'm down. I'm like, cool. So we recruited some dudes back then, started writing some songs, played some shows, and then Alyssa actually joined our band for a little while back in like 2015. She was in the band around when the first EP came out, and then we kind of the band sort of fizzled out for a bit after that.
Sure.
And then kind of restarted the band again in 2017. Had a different lineup of people besides Ken. Then 2018 rolled around, a lot of those people quit. One of the guys like got a girlfriend and sort of just fell off the face of the earth. And
that'll happen.
Happens.
And just salute to him. I'll pour one out. But and then it was funny too, because like a month after he quit the band, they broke up. I'm like, you idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love the guy, but like, yeah, he's a fucking idiot. He knows it. If he heard this, he's like, yeah, I was an idiot.
I was a fucking idiot. Yeah, a fucking idiot for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then we recruited Doug and re-recruited Alyssa in 2018, and then our guitarist Zach was kind of just, we had a other guitarist who was in the band for a while. He ended up quitting, and then I asked Zach to kind of fill in for him. And he's in another band too, so he was like, "Yeah, sure, like I can fill in for you." And he ended up filling in for us for like years. And we eventually just kind of had the "What are we?" talk, and then we're just like, "Yeah, you're just in the band now, okay?" Like last year,
So
finally,
what are we?
Yeah, we made it Facebook official and everything. Like,
nice.
it was very cute. But we had a little photo shoot where he was like wearing a mask in one picture, and then we're pulling off the mask like he's a fucking like Scooby-Doo villain or something. Like, I don't even know if we posted all those pictures, but we did it. But but yeah, so like it's been, our first stuff was it was kind of my first take at like writing a song with just myself and writing in that style, because all the other bands that I've been in, it was completely different kind of genres and different influences and different people I was writing with too and stuff. And so writing this kind of stuff, like going back in our first EP, I kind of cringe at it, and it's not even that it's like bad, but it's just like, oh, I've done so much better since, like,
sure,
there's the songs are kind of cheesy, and I was kind of just, but looking back at it, we kind of needed to write those songs to progress to where we are now, because I sort of got okay, I need to write a song about this, got it out of the way, so now I don't have to worry about writing about that anymore, because I wrote a dumb song about that, moving on. And so now it's easier to kind of dial that in and focus on, be like, all right, well, I already wrote about that stupid cliche thing. Let me take this other angle on it, and it's really helped our songwriting now. And so I feel like we've just grown a lot, both me and Ken, as songwriters. We've been writing music together for forever, and we kind of get each other. But then having this other influence of people has really helped too. I mean, on this album, a lot of the songs were brought to the table by the other members too. Like Down at the Bottom, the single we put out earlier this year, that was a song that musically our drummer Doug brought to the table. That was kind of his first, like, hey, I wrote something, check it out. And we were like, yeah, this rules, we're making it a song. And it ended up being like the first single. So
nice. That's awesome.
So it's been cool. Yeah, it's just a lot of growth, and a lot of bonding too. The fact that like this group has been together for going on 5 years now, it's great that we've been able to kind of build up this sort of dynamic and kind of get comfortable with each other.
Sure. You call yourself Chicago Diet Punk. What does that mean to you?
So that started as a joke, because we I hate saying like, oh, we're a pop punk band, because it's kind of like, there's so many different pop punk bands, and there's so many like corny ones, and there's so many like, yeah, we're not like those ones though. We're not like the Wonder Years. Like, we have some influence from them, but we're not like a sad boy pop punk band, but we're not like, straight up like Teenage Bottle Rocket or something. We kind of take influence from a lot of those bands. So I hate saying like a pop punk band. I guess nowadays I just say like a punk rock band. Just
sure.
because it sounds a little more, I guess, grown up for me to say punk rock as opposed to pop punk. But diet punk came from I was writing an Instagram post, writing some hashtags, and I wrote a hashtag support local music, and then jokingly, we're always throwing puns out there. I said hashtag support low cal music, like low calorie. And then our guitarist at the time, Mike, was just like, oh yeah, because we're like diet punk, like we're not like full on punk. It's like fewer calories, you know, like we were joking. I was like, I kind of like that actually, and we just sort of started rolling with it. And like now we have, you know, t-shirts that say diet punk that looks like the Diet Coke logo, and
Nice.
we had that on koozies and stuff, and it sort of just became our brand. And
I
it
like
was
it.
just kind of a happy accident that it worked, because people are always like, what the fuck? I gotta
That's
check
smart.
this out. So yeah, it
Hell
worked.
yeah. I mean, it's something, it's, you know, it's easy to cling on to. It's catchy, you know.
Yeah, and I know that it's catching on because people, pretty much every interview I have, someone asks about it. So like,
Well, there you go.
you know, I'm always happy to answer the question, and I'm like kind of always waiting for it to come up. So you call yourselves diet punk? What the hell does that mean? I was like, well, I got the answer for you queued up. But yeah, it's just
Great.
how we branded ourselves.
I'm happy to know we're just like everybody else, though.
Exactly.
No, it's
Fine.
cool.
Fine.
It's
Fine.
cool.
It's fine.
Cool. It's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, speaking of being like everybody else, what would you say is your biggest musical guilty pleasure?
Man, as I gotten older, I kind of just realized I'm like, there's no reason to be guilty about any of your musical pleasures anymore. Like, you know, I'll listen to, you know, fucking Veil of Maya, and then the next song that comes on my Spotify is like Kesha. Like
Oh,
I'm
I fucking love
sort of
Kesha.
all over the place with that. Yeah,
So
I
good.
went and saw Kesha a few years back, and she was fantastic. Her band fucking rips. All the songs like sound cooler live. Like they don't sound
Mhm.
like shitty pop songs. They sound like actual like legit big like rock and roll songs, and
Nice.
it's they translate so well in that form too. But yeah, I mean, going back to I used to be like a little, that was my past, but now I just embrace it. Like my first concert I ever went to was in 1999. I went and saw the Backstreet Boys on their like
Dude,
Millennium tour.
that's awesome.
And like
Jealous.
as a high school kid, I'm like, man, I don't listen to that shit anymore. But now I'm like, yeah, I want it that way at karaoke all the time, and it blows the roof off, dude. So like fuck it, embrace it. So I don't really have any guilty pleasures, um, but yeah, I listen to a lot of stuff like that, and I can dig some Billie Eilish, I can dig Kesha, and Kelly Clarkson, or even go back to the Backstreet Boys and 98 Degrees, and
Oh, it's good shit,
Christina
man.
Aguilera. Like I
Hmm.
can go back and listen to that stuff from my youth, um, and not feel guilty about it. I've embraced it. It's made me who I am today.
Well, that's good. I love it.
Kind of building off of that, what would you say is your biggest musical inspiration? You know, that one that said, "That's it, I'm gonna be a musician."
um, it's a very cliche answer, but Blink 182.
That's cool.
It's it's very common, but the reason why was because because back when I was into the pop music, your Backstreet Boys and your NSYNCs and your 98 Degrees is I'd watch TRL every day when I come home from school, and then would start seeing bands like that on TRL.
Hmm.
And my 10-year-old view of rock and roll was like just what my dad listened to, the Scorpions and Aerosmith, Metallica, like all these big,
Right.
huge, like larger than life figures of rock and roll. And seeing Blink on TRL just like fucking around with each other and like just cracking jokes. And I remember they were playing some game at an episode of TRL, and Tom was like, "Who's this guy next to me?" And they're like, "That's your bandmate Mark." And he's like, "Can I get a new one?" And I just thought that was the funniest shit. And I was just like, I just kind of fell in love with like how real those dudes were, and I was like, oh, right, regular normal dudes can be like in big rock bands. And
Hmm.
I kind of just started daydreaming about playing in a rock and roll band ever since. And jump around in my bedroom, air guitar in, or have a little like inflatable guitar, and like just you know pretend to be Mark Hoppus. And and whatnot. And then I started diving because of Blink. I started seeing more and more of those kinds of bands on TRL. Newfound Glory and Good Charlotte, some 41, and stuff like that. And then I'd start to dive into their influences because I'd see them wearing T-shirts, like wearing a Descendants T-shirt or stuff like that. And I'd go to the library in my town and find these random like old punk records at the library and take them home, burn them onto my parents' computer onto a CDR, and then I'd listen to them in my Discman the next day at school, and that's kind of where it starts. So it all stemmed from Blink, and here we are today. So it's like if I never like actually took a liking and an interest into Blink, like who knows?
Yeah. No, I feel that. I mean, it does that doesn't hit too far from home for what really started me on my punk rock journey either. Yeah. So Blink, Green Day, Offspring,
the bunny right here on my arm.
Nice. I like it. So we got one more question before we go to a quick break. If you could give our listeners a piece of advice that you know now that you wish you knew when you were first starting your musical journey, what would that be?
I would say just like don't try too hard, because it's gonna end up trying too hard to like do something that's not genuine to you is not gonna get you far. A lot of the bands that I was in growing up kind of fell apart because we were trying to like, let's try and be groundbreaking, and it was nowhere near groundbreaking. It didn't even leave a crack in the ground, dude. It was just like, we're gonna be a band that has no genre. We'll be all the genres. And rather than like figuring out some way, I mean, we're dumb 16-year-old kids, but like rather than trying to sit and actually work on combining genres, we would just write one song that sounded like this, one song that sounded like that. We're just like, yeah, dude, we're all the genres, and no one gave a fuck.
Yeah, that's too difficult to do something like that, like to get fans. Like it's like, well, but I don't like this genre.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we'd be playing these songs in our singer at the time's garage, and I remember his dad would like the more like kind of groovy sounding songs. So he would be like, his dad would just be in the kitchen or whatever the hell, and then he'd hear one of the songs he likes come in. He'd just walk into the garage, stand there, and watch that song, and then we'd be done. He's like, "Good job, boys," and we'll leave, and then just wait until one of the songs that he liked was on, which was like 3 of them.
Nice.
And yeah, so I mean, and like I said before, like I'd never really been in a punk band just because I went where a bassist was needed.
Sure.
And I'm having like the most fun in this band that I have in like any band that I've ever been in. So it's like, man, I wish I'd done this a long time ago. So do what is genuine to you, and don't try too hard to like be different or be like, just do you, and it's gonna come off better than any of that other shit because it's genuine to you.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Love it.
Yes. I love it as well. I love it as well.
Me too.
Good. And with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our next segment. What's up, friends? We're super stoked to tell you that we just partnered with GFUEL. And let me tell you, there is no more pop punk beverage on the market right now than GFUEL. GFUEL keeps you energized, focused, and hydrated. If you go to gfuel.com right now and use code Unsigned Pop Punk, you're gonna save 20% off your entire order. You can get it in the tub form and have 40 freaking servings of flavors like Rick and Morty's Unstable Portal Fluid, which is a delicious strawberry limeade, or get something in the can form like Sonic's Peach Rings or Crash Bandicoot's Wumpa Fruit. Go to gfuel.com and check it out for yourself. Let us know what your favorite flavor is. And once again, don't forget to use our code Unsigned Pop Punk to save 20%. It's a heck of a deal, man. And we're back. Now we're gonna, you guys don't even know, you missed out on a whole bunch of really great conversation that I'm not gonna let you hear unless you get like the Tarnowski cut.
You get that
hashtag the Tarnowski cut.
It's on your OnlyFans.
Yeah, this is on our OnlyBands. Yeah. So hashtag, if you want it, hashtag the Tarnowski cut. But now it's time for the Food for Thought segment, everybody's favorite. We all we love talking about food. This is a music podcast, but we do it a little differently because we hit you with that hard journalism about food.
You had me at hard.
Yeah. Hard salami. So we asked this of all of our Chicago guests because you have to. And I know right out the gate, you're thinking pizza. I didn't. We're not going to do that. Because this, however, I feel is more controversial. It's one of the most controversial questions that we've had on the show, especially with our Chicago guests. Some don't care. Some say, don't you dare. Ketchup on hot dogs. Yes or no?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can't do it. It's like the only thing I'm not even like really a ketchup person, probably because of that. Like the only thing I really put ketchup on is like a burger if I'm putting, but it's got to be with mustard too, like ketchup, mustard, and then like everything. But yeah, ketchup on a hot dog, like there's already tomatoes on it on a Chicago style dog. Like why ruin that? But then I guess the argument could be like, well, you put a pickle and relish on there. It's I guess the same idea. But no, I was raised to not do that shit.
Does it anger you?
I'm fucking seething right now, dude. I'm seeing red like ketchup.
I mean, you're kind of moving around. I feel like you're kind of like
I'm uneasy, bro.
You're a little uneasy.
It makes my skin crawl. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, like I mean, like do what you want, but like also know that like I'm like just blood red mad if I'm watching you do that.
This is great because like the first time we had this conversation was with Action Adventure, and he was
I love those dudes.
Dude, very like more intense than you, like very much more intense. Like,
I'm a little more laid back. Which member was it?
Do you remember?
Been a while.
Been a while. I don't know, but he was very much ready, like to fight someone for it.
Yeah. There was one time, my fiance and I went. This was probably I don't know 5 years ago or so. We went to the So What festival in Texas.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I of course got like super sick like the day before. Just had like a horrible head cold hit me like the day before we left. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be a great fucking weekend. So all the money I probably would have spent on booze, I spent on like Dayquil and coffee just to like try to survive. And luckily some friends of ours were playing, and their tour manager is a friend of mine too. So he was just like, oh, there's a coffee company that's like sponsors this show. There's so much like free little cans of coffee. I'm gonna go grab you some. Like, watch the merch table. I got you. I'm like, oh my man. So I just had all these little cans of coffee. I'm just sipping, and I'm so just like out of it. We're just like standing there watching these bands, going, hell yeah. Like watching Every Time I Die, just like, oh hell yeah. And then I got a hot dog because I'm like, I need to put some food in me. So I got a hot dog, and I'm at the condiments, and there's the ketchup thing is empty, but like everything else was there. So I grabbed the mustard, and this girl goes, oh, there's more ketchup on the other side. I'm like, I'm from Chicago, I don't do that shit. And I probably came off super like aggressive because I was so out of it and like sick and like fighting for my life. And she goes, okay, and walked away. I was like, oh fuck. I just like snapped at this lady for no reason.
Matt figured it out. We were talking to Brompton. That's who said it.
I can see him doing that right now.
Yeah.
I can see his reaction in my brain.
He was passionate about two things: ketchup on hot dogs and cookout.
Oh, yeah. Very passionate about cookout.
I can see that as well, man.
You're stopping at a gas station while on the road. What's the snack you're grabbing to keep you going?
I don't even think about it, but I just always grab beef jerky. I don't know what it is about a gas station. I never grab it in a grocery store. I never grab it anywhere, but like I'll just walk in like, all right, snack. Okay, jerky. I'm just like on autopilot. So it's like always just like Jack Link's beef jerky or something like that. Usually some sort of like a Gatorade or something to drink, or like a vitamin water. Sure. If I'm tired, I'll grab a Red Bull or something like that. And then I'm more of a savory than a sweet, so I'm not usually doing cookies or nothing like that, or
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
not like if I do candy, it's like gummy worms. But I'm usually just a bag of chips, Chex Mix, Cheez-Its or something like that, you know.
Do you have a
Same.
specific jerky flavor you go for? Or you just go the original?
I'm a huge fan of the teriyaki. I also know they have a barbecue sauce one too. I like
Yeah.
um
That
the
that's
pepper
a
one. I mean, I love them all, but yeah, I think
the
I usually go teriyaki.
the Sweet Baby Ray's makes like a good barbecue one. I don't think I've had
Oh
it for
yeah,
Jack Links, but Sweet Baby Ray's one, real good.
I love me some Sweet Baby Ray's.
Oh yeah. I like a good peppered or sweet and hot beef jerky.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the good stuff. That's the good
Getting
stuff.
getting hungry.
Me too. I'm like thinking about
Mm.
daydreaming about jerky over here, man.
It's fucking dinner time, man. I got off
Matt.
work, like answered some emails, and then hopped into this. So,
Oh, well, I'm
man,
gonna keep you as long as I can.
oh yeah, just building the suspense, dude.
Just edging.
It's gonna make yeah. I'm just edging my dinner, dude.
Yeah. So speaking of speaking of edging your dinner,
Oh no.
you have the opportunity to create the Guardrail restaurant.
Oh
What are
man.
you serving there? And what's the vibe?
All right. Well, it's gonna definitely be kind of a mix of like a bar and grill and like pizza, I think. Because I feel like we tend to grill out a lot when we're doing stuff. We call it grill rail. And
Okay.
it's just a running joke with our band is if we're doing anything, it's something rail. So
Nice.
if we're at a fucking amusement park, it's fucking park rail. It's if we're getting Wendy's, it's Wendy's rail. Like it's just something rail. So yeah, grilling up, burgers, fries, brats, you know, hot dogs, Italian beef, that just basically anything you'd get at like a fucking bar and grill restaurant,
All right.
like an upscale Applebee's or some shit. But then also there's a fucking pizza oven back there because we also enjoy our shitty pizza as well as the good Chicago style pizza. So
Yeah, like I was gonna say, are you gonna go touristy? You gonna go thin crust? What are you doing?
I mean, the touristy shit is always like the deep dish, but
Right.
the real gem is the Chicago style thin crust. Like
Yeah.
that's the move. So yeah, that Chicago style thin crust. I worked at a pizza place for like the first half of my 20s, and it was basically just like that same menu, like burgers, brats, fries, beef sandwiches, wings, all that kind of stuff, and then also like pasta and pizza and you know all that shit.
It's a big menu.
Yeah, it was great. I
It's like
ate
the
like a
Cheesecake
fucking
Factory.
king when I was there, dude. Yeah, it was amazing. I'd just be like, what do I want to eat today? And I worked there for so long that like the managers didn't give a fuck. They're just like, yeah, what do you want to eat? Just make it. I'm like, all right, cool. So
Would there be
Well,
karaoke?
afterwards, for sure. We'd like make ourselves like, oh, I'm gonna make a pizza. What do y'all want on it? All right, cool. We make that. We all slam that pizza, and then we close up for the night, start drinking, and then we just karaoke.
No, is
But
there gonna be karaoke at the Grill Rail restaurant?
oh man, yeah, I misunderstood the question.
Either one.
Yeah, of course, it has to be.
There's
That's
no music unless it's karaoke.
oh no.
Only karaoke restaurant.
That's how you get to order your food.
Yeah, you gotta sing for
No
your
one
food.
can eat unless there's someone singing either. If no one's volunteers, they can be like, all right, well, someone got to volunteer, otherwise you're not getting your food.
Yeah, no one's eating unless you fucking go sing. So
Yeah, someone get up there, sing some goddamn Ricky Martin now.
you better live that La Vida Loca, all right?
We got some hungry motherfuckers in this place. And god damn it, they want to hear some Gin Blossoms sing terribly. Singed? I just said sing.
Yeah, singed
Sung?
it.
Sang?
Singed it.
Yeah,
Dude, Gin Blossoms is great. Matt'll
Yeah.
karaoke some Gin Blossoms.
I fucking love Gin Blossoms. I play Hey Jealousy at most of my like solo acoustic shows because I just fucking love that song.
It's a good jam. It's a good one.
It's a perfect song.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Ooh, we
Yeah.
did it at the same time. That was cute, dude.
We just shared a moment.
Yeah, we shared.
Eh.
We just docked.
Yeah.
Back to edging.
Yeah, speaking of edging.
Edging.
Oh shit. Well, that's it. You finished the what was it, food for thought? Yeah, that's where we're at. Food for thought questions. We only give you 3. You know, leaving you hungry for more.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm grumbling.
But this is it. Rapid fire questions.
Friendships will be tested. Rapid fire questions.
You're gonna speak from the heart. You're gonna shoot from the hip.
It's the only way I know how to shoot.
You're gonna feel it.
My
You
hips,
ready?
I guess.
All right. Mountain Dew or Mellow Yellow?
Mountain Dew.
Horror or comedy movies?
I love them both, but I'm a huge comedy guy.
Okay. This isn't an either or, but do you still listen to the radio?
Not usually. If it's my only option, yeah, I can't sit there in silence. I gotta listen to something. But yeah, I typically don't. Radio here kind of sucks anyway. It's like there's one alternative station, but it's mostly just playing like the white people music, and every now and then they'll throw like Rancid, and you're just like, what the fuck? It's like Rancid followed by like the Lumineers. It's like, what happened? But that's basically all we have here.
I don't even have an alternative radio station here, so
Yeah.
we either have country, pop, or the oldies, which oldies is great because, you know, oldies now is like, you know, Guns N' Roses. So
Yeah.
you can't go too wrong.
Mhm.
Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon?
Man, I was raised on both. I was like super as a kid. I was like, if it's not a cartoon, I don't want to watch it. But I think I connected more with a lot more of the Cartoon Network, so I'm gonna go with that.
All right. This one you basically have already answered, but thin crust or regular crust pizza?
Man, I love it all, but I mean, some thin crust is always good. You can't go wrong.
This is probably gonna be a tough one. Lindsay Lohan or Tara Reid?
Ooh, man. I'm gonna. I think I had the hots more for Lindsay Lohan as a kid. I think I'm gonna go with that.
Gotta go with low with the flow, baby. Newfound Glory or MXPX?
Fuck. I'm torn, man. Newfound Glory was like the first like punk rock record I ever actually owned.
Yeah.
My own money, and I also have like an MXPX tattoo right here. So
what do you do?
Man, I think it's very close. It's a very close toss up, but I think Newfound Glory just because they were more influential to me earlier on.
Squeaking by.
But yeah, it's like a 51 to 49. It's right there, dude.
They're both legends.
Yeah.
This is the last one.
Okay.
We're just gonna test your jingles knowledge. Can you sing for us the O'Reilly Auto Parts jingle?
Oh, O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Wow.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
The crowd goes mild.
That was like perfectly on pitch. Perfect tempo. I'm
not gonna lie.
very impressed.
The reason I know that so well and like I was able to just pull it out right away was I used to work right before the pandemic. I was working at this place and I was just in this office with a buddy of mine, and we were just basically the only 2 dudes in there. So I would just have Spotify playing on my computer, but I did not have Spotify Premium yet. So every few songs there's an ad break, and every other ad break there was an O'Reilly Auto Parts commercial. And that buddy of mine to this day, he'll like always tag me in memes about it and stuff about the song. So like that's just ingrained in me forever. So
I was hoping you were going to say the reason I actually know it so well is because every time I play an acoustic set, I sing it.
I might have to. I'm playing one on Saturday. I might have to just pull it out.
Just bust it out.
This is a song from my youth, man. It was a big influence on me.
Yeah.
I don't know it that well, but I just wanted to play it for you guys. You know, this is just something I have to do for me.
Just make like a really slow stripped down. Obviously, you'll have to create the chords for it, but like some little fucking picking thing.
I'm gonna do that.
You
I'm figuring out my set list today, as like I've been thinking about it all day, and I think I'm gonna do that. And if I do it, and hopefully I get some video of it, I will send it to you guys.
Yes, you have to. Like, I will share the shit out of that.
Yeah. Speaking of Tara Reid, actually, I'm opening up for Thomas Ian Nicholas, whose character was dating Tara Reid, character in American Pie. So
yeah, we've had him on the show before. Good dude.
Yeah, that dude's awesome. I can't wait to play that show with him this weekend.
Nice.
So that's this weekend you're doing that?
Yeah, it's on the 1st. Yeah.
Nice. Hopefully he'll be wearing his Rookie of the Year jersey.
If not, I'll fight him.
Don't do that.
The guy who's never thrown a punch in his life. All right. The last thing I want is to make Jared Reddick cry.
Yeah. But that's it. You did it. You finished the podcast. Now's your chance. Let everybody know what you got going on, where they can find you. What's next?
All right. So the record comes out on July 7th. It'll be everywhere. There's pre-orders for vinyl and whatnot on the label's website. It's oyerex.com. You can find us online at Guardrail Sucks on all the social medias. I'm at Naughty Jacuzzi. That was just something that was one of those, like, someone said it and it was like, oh, new band name, and I'm like, I'm fucking taking that. You can follow my dog on Instagram. She's at Gnarly the Ween. Shows we got coming up. I got the show with Thomas Ian Nicholas on Saturday, July 1st. That's out in the suburbs of Chicago. I don't know if this is even going to be out by then, but then our the day of our record release, on the 7th, we're doing a little record release day party at a bar out here in Chicago in Logan Square. So if you're in Chicago, come hang out with us. I'm going to be DJing all night. We're going to play the record front to back at like 10 o'clock. And I'll be there till 2 a.m. just spinning punk rock songs and drinking everything that I can. And then the record release show is a week later. That's on the 14th here at the Bottom Lounge. We got some great bands on that as well. And then we're also playing the next day in Michigan and Grand Rapids, and the day after that in Toledo, Ohio. Got some other stuff coming up too that's not announced yet. But if you come to the shows or you come to our release day party, just say what up. We'll have a hug, we'll have a shot, we'll cry, we'll laugh, we'll grow together.
Love it.
Hell yeah. I love it.
Love
And I love hugs.
Yeah, dude, same. I'm a hugger, bro.
Dude, hugs are the best. You know, if we hugged each other, if we did it just right, we could get our beards tangled together.
We could become one.
We could. Dude, this just like melds together.
I was actually about to cut this real short. So I think you guys might be the last people to see me with this this.
Don't do that. I like it.
Well, it gets to this point and it's so curly, it just kind of stops. It stops getting longer. It's been this length, but it's just like curling back into itself.
I think that's what mine's doing, because it really hasn't done shit for a while here, man.
Yeah. So every 5 or 6 months, I just go, just cut. I'm never gonna I haven't clean shaven since I was like 20, but I'll at least cut it down short and nice and cute, and then
I shaved it all the way off. I think before the pandemic, and my wife was really not happy about that. She was really upset. It's like, I don't even want to kiss you. And I'm like, yeah, but you're going to kiss me. I swear to God. No, I'm just kidding.
It'd be so weird. I mean, my fiance has never seen me without any sort of facial hair. Like, the last time I shaved, I was, 20, 21, something like that. I was McLovin for Halloween. So I couldn't have any facial hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably going to cut it down to like about where Matt's is at. Maybe a little bit shorter, but just
trim my
it'll look good. It'll look good.
Yeah.
You're a good looking guy. You'll look good either way.
Oh, stop.
Just mail the beard to Pat so he can.
I'll glue it. I'll glue it to the ends.
Beard hair is so curly; it's gonna just look like a bag of pubes that I sent you or something.
That'll be just as exciting.
I might sprinkle some pubes in there too.
We'll see. Sure. Fuck it. Why not?
Exclusive record.
Just
some merch.
We get the vinyl press with a couple pubes in there. In the wax. Oh, there you go.
That sounds like Diet Punk to me, but what do I know?
Sounds like a fucking nightmare to me.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, Kevin, thanks so much for hanging out. was
Yeah.
awesome.
Thanks for
You're-
having me. This was a blast.
You're a rad fella. Matt and I, however, we're gonna hang out for a little bit longer, as y'all know. We're gonna do some unsigned pop punk news, and we're gonna hop into that right here. Here's some music. Well, hello, friends. Welcome to the Unsigned Pop Punk News. You know, this was a great time. It was a great time with great friends. Great
Beautiful.
time, great friends. You know, I'm never sick of saying this, but I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your desires, your podcast desires. What are your thoughts? What do you want to know? I don't know.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
What do you want to know? I'm just babbling. But yeah, like hit us up. Let's chat about this week's show. Let's, what are your thoughts? Do you got any questions? Let's ask them. I'll answer them. It's great. Join us on Discord. Click the link in the description, and it's going to be good times. Up, down, left, right, east, west, north, south. Wherever you find your description is where the links will be. That's right.
I'm glad those links will be there.
Yeah, they will. All of them. All the links will
Otherwise,
be
I'm
there.
gonna be lonely in that Discord.
Matt, also, you know what other link will be in there? The link you're going to tell them about.
I'm guessing you're meaning a link to our merch store where there's a shirt, our gender equality shirt. Do we have a link right to the shirt in our descriptions?
Well, I mean, a link to our merch.
Oh, okay, well, yeah. So
Yeah.
You see, what you have to do, listen to me. You're going to go to that description. You're going to find that Discord. You're going to find us in that Discord because we're lonely. Then you're going to click on that merch link because you like cool fucking merch. And what's cooler than cool fucking merch? Merch that has a purpose. And merch that has a purpose is our gender equality shirt. It says gender equality is dope as fuck. Fuck is not spelled out fuck. It's pseudo school appropriate. But hashtag I didn't, or asterisk I didn't tell you that. Even cooler though, 15% of every purchase of our gender equality shirt will be donated to the Trevor Project, whose mission is to end suicide among LGBTQ youth. So help us in supporting an amazing cause and support saving young LGBTQ lives.
Saving lives is probably one of the coolest things you can do.
It's the most punk rock.
It is so punk rock. Like, it is so punk rock. So help us, help others. It's awesome. Helping people is cool.
Also,
dude,
punk rock, Pat.
It's super punk rock. Punk rock flea market, baby, full effect. If you're listening to this today on Monday, you'll have already, if you follow our social medias, you'll have already seen that we also announced super badass after party at Duluth Cider. And guess who's gonna be there performing? It's your boy, Portside Dive, Mr. Matt Reed here.
It's me.
That's him. He's gonna be performing his new music. It's gonna be awesome.
First show in over a year and a half.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
You're gonna be there to see it.
Yeah,
it's free.
Well, it's free. You come hang out with us after the punk rock flea market, which is gonna be at the back alley August 19th. That's also free. Come check out all the rad alternative vendors. Get yourself something cool that you can't just get anywhere else.
Finish with tacos.
Oh man, Oasis Del Norte's gonna be there. They got some delicious tacos. And yeah, we got, oh man, there's gonna be bands. Matt's not playing that in the after party, but we got other bands.
But we'll both be at both events. So if you're sick of saying, hey, those guys, they said meet them in the Discord. But if you also want to meet us in person,
in real lives,
this is your chance. Life's full of opportunities. And to quote the great Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
Absolutely. So yeah, come hang out with us. Join us on all of our socials so you can keep up to date with all of our events. So it's gonna be fun. We also have another event in the making right now that we're also really stoked about. So Twitch news, things is changing right now, right? Mr. Super Gibby, he is wandering door to door right now, trying to help the good people at PBS. So Super Gibby is a little busy. So Twitch, the things are changing. So new Music Friday on Tuesday is on hold, but you know what you can do? Just go listen to the New Music Friday playlist and hang out with friends, family, have your own listening parties until next month when New Music Friday on Tuesday comes back. Super awesome. Randomly, that happened on a Tuesday. That happened. So, like, this shows are going to be happening when they happen. Because right now, I don't know where you are in the world, but air quality is a little messed up. So people's schedules change, which is why, super awesome. Instead of happening on Saturday, which is when it was supposed to, it happened on a Tuesday. But super awesome should be on every Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And on Sundays, this should always be the same. This should be the same for a while. Top 10 moved to Sundays. So Top 10 Video Countdown is currently on Sundays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on our Twitch channel, which is Unsigned, twitch.tv/Unsigned Pop Punk. So, once again, go get on our socials. That's where you're going to find it out. That's where you're going to know. So follow us on anything, everywhere at Unsigned Pop Punk. And, that's the way the news goes. Thank you again to Guardrail for hanging out with us today. Thanks, Matt, for being my friend. As always, thanks to Super Gibby for working really hard and, walking 500 miles and 500 miles more just to be the man that walked that 1,000 miles for PBS. Thanks to Lawrence Crow for always making the coolest designs. If you all need awesome design work, go to Lawrence Crow. Lowe's Crow, L-O-Z, Lowe's Crow Illustration on Instagram. Go follow him and shoot him a message. Tell him Pat sent you. Unsigned Pop Punk sent you. And thanks to Ross at Electric Kiwi for making our cool website and always helping us with all that good stuff. And thanks to, and speaking of PBS, thanks to viewers like you. See you Monday.
Thanks to Guardrail for hanging out with us today.
I said that first. Kevin, thanks.
Kevin, thanks.
See you all on Monday.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out the show. Please hit that like, subscribe, or follow button so you never miss an episode. And thank you so much to those of you who already are. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or anywhere else you stream your podcasts. If you're in the position to help us grow and like behind-the-scenes access and exclusive shows, head on over to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/unsignedpoppunk. Let us know in the comments who you'd like to see on the show and what other content you'd like to see. Thank you all so much.